We're out here at Maker Faire 2013 with Eric, the founder of OpenROV. So Eric, tell us, what is OpenROV and what do you guys do?
Hey, well, OpenROV is a completely open source and open hardware robotic submarine. So it's this robot you can drive underwater, and it's got a video camera on it that sends live video up to the surface. So you can drive it around from the surface and look and see what it sees, kind of like playing a video game, but real life.
Okay. What does ROV stand for?
Well, ROV stands for Remotely Operated Vehicle. You know, that could be any remotely operated vehicle, but usually it means submarines, and that's what we're doing here. Clearly.
Cool. So what's the open part of the OpenROV?
Yeah, so like I mentioned before, we're all completely open source and open hardware. That means that all of our design details, bill of materials, you know, construction tips, we put on our website for free. Anyone can go there and download it. So that's what open source means. There's another thing that kind of comes with that, where we're crowdsourced, which means that we've kind of come up with the initial design on our own, but we rely on our community of people to come up with good ideas to put into the design, and that's really kind of what's gotten us as far as we are. So open source, remotely operated vehicle, OpenROV.
So then, can people buy them from you?
Yeah, you know, we just want to get as many as we can out there. So if you want, you can build it completely from scratch without buying anything from us. But if you want, we also sell a kit. It goes for between $800 and $900 right now, and it's just all the parts you need to assemble it. I like to say if you're an adult, you can probably assemble it in about a week. If you're a kid, maybe it'll only take you a weekend.
Okay, cool. And so, tell me about yourself. Where did you grow up?
I grew up in a really rural area in Northern California called Trinidad, California. Population 311, well, 310 now, I guess.
Okay.
And I was an only child, so I didn't really have much to do, and tinkering kind of ended up being my kind of go-to thing.
So how old were you when you started tinkering?
Oh, I think I've always been tinkering. I don't know. If you count Legos, as long as I could pick up a Lego, I was doing it. And I later went on to engineering school, and what I learned is that if you know how to use tools the right way, the world is your Legos. You can build anything from anything, and that's really cool.
So did your parents encourage that kind of tinkering behavior?
They did, I think. They didn't. They certainly didn't disallow it. They, I had a lot of like erector sets. I remember getting a basic saw and some wood and some glue and learning how to use that stuff. You know, what was really important was I'd come up with ideas of things that I want to do. And they'd kind of point me in the direction to what tools I might be able to accomplish that with. They didn't just say, here's some tools, build something. They'd see what I was interested in. And OpenROV is the same way. If you want to make someone excited about something, if you want to make someone excited about ships, don't tell them about the boat. Tell them about the lands beyond the sea, and that will get them excited. OpenROV is about the adventures that you can have with it, about the exploration that can be done with it.
That sounds pretty cool. So what inspired you to get involved with, or you're the founder, so what inspired you to start OpenROV?
Well, David Lang and I are co-founders. So together we kind of did this. There's this viral YouTube video of this guy who was dancing around at a concert, and some other people started dancing with him, and suddenly it became this like flash mob. It's the second and the third guy that makes it a thing. I was building robots because before I was building satellites, and I was kind of frustrated that you have to I was kind of frustrated that you have to have a government, if not a lot of money, to get a satellite into space. And robots that go underwater can explore a really mysterious place on their own, and all you need is a boat or a shoreline. So I've always thought that exploration is neat, and this is the most accessible and interesting exploration I could think of.
So when did you start OpenROV?
I started building my first laser-cut ROVs kind of with the general idea that it could be something easily repeatable maybe 3 years ago. But when David met me, that was a little over 2 years ago at this point, and that's when it really started to kind of transform. And he had a lot of ideas about how we can build a good community around this, and that's that combination of the two of our skills, I think, really just made it take off.
So what were you doing before OpenROV?
Before I was in grad school, and I was interning at NASA Ames Research Center. We were building these small satellites. They're called CubeSats. They're like the size of a loaf of bread, and they usually just go in low Earth orbit around the Earth. I thought at that point that space exploration was what I was going to be all about, but yeah, I don't know. This is better.
So you obviously probably have a shop where you're making these tools, at least to prototype them. What's your favorite tool in the shop?
Ooh, favorite tool. Well, you know, the favorite tool of mine right now is one that we don't have in our own shop. We use Tech Shop. It's the laser cutter.
Okay.
And the laser cutter, I mean, I know 3D printers have been getting all the glory and stuff,
yeah.
But a laser cutter can make solid pieces of acrylic or whatever you want to cut that fit together in kind of a jigsaw way. And to me, I mean, it's just so much faster. You can come up with an idea, print it within a minute, look at it, realize what you made a mistake on, and then do it again. The laser cutter is that's my weapon of choice.
Okay. So for people who don't know, what software tool chain do you use when you're doing the laser?
Right now I design all my stuff in Autodesk Inventor.
Okay.
I was using SolidWorks before, and I don't know, Inventor just seems a little more maker friendly. Usually I export that to a PDF or a CorelDRAW file, and after that I send it to the laser, and out it goes.
What kind of laser do they use at Tech Shop?
Let's see. Tech Shop mostly has Epilogue lasers, although I guess they just got this Tormach set at the San Francisco place, and those seem pretty good too. We're actually interested in getting some explicitly for OpenROV. If we can sell enough kits to afford one, it would be neat, and I'm not sure which brand we'll get.
Okay. So what kinds of materials when you're cutting laser do you cut with?
I like acrylic. Actually, OpenROV right now is built almost exclusively out of, they call it 1/8 inch acrylic, but it's really 3mm acrylic. Yeah. And all of our stuff we use the metric system. It's just a better way to integrate with science and the rest of the world.
Why do you like acrylic so much?
Acrylic's great. It's cheap. It's really low cost, and it's got good properties. You can get in lots of colors. It's available everywhere, it just cuts with the laser really well.
So for people just getting started making, maybe they're in school, maybe they're hanging out at the tech shop, what advice do you have for them?
All right. I mean, the best thing you can do is get your hands dirty. Just start doing it. I never had something work the first time. You have to fail your way to success. So if you have an idea, just make it quick. It doesn't have to be good. It can be sloppy. Learn from that. Do it again. Always design something in a way that you can iterate it very easily. And OpenROV, I think that's probably the main thing that's contributed to the design becoming what it is that laser cutters are easy to use and you can really rapidly make something new. So that rapid iteration capability with the laser cutter, I think, got us there. Before we had a good working one, I think we were already up to serial number 20 something.
All right, cool. So can you grab an OpenROV for us so we can see what it is?
Yeah, sure. Hey, could you drive the ROV over here? We'll have them drive it over here right now.
All right, cool. Here it comes. Can you see it?
There we go.
All right, so what are we looking at here?
So this is OpenROV. It's basically 3 motors in the back. These are or 3 motors, 2 motors in the back and 1 on the top. These are brushless motors you'd use in like an RC airplane. I like to say we're all about cleverly misusing off-the-shelf parts. So it's just a brushless motor, and we have a propeller attached to that. And then in front you have off-the-shelf webcam. That's a high-definition webcam. It just plugs in with a USB port and some lights. And they go into a BeagleBone computer. It's a little Linux computer that runs a small program and hosts a web server. So basically, on your computer, you log on to the little onboard computer, you get a webcam feed, and using this kind of built-in Arduino sort of thing, we can control the thrusters. And then down here in front, we have these battery packs. They're doing 3 things. They're adding ballast. They make it so the ROV doesn't sink or float. It's what's called neutrally buoyant. They provide power, of course, and then they also counterbalance the mass of the motors, which are behind this dry container, which is the center of buoyancy.
So obviously these things are going underwater. How do you make sure that it doesn't get wet and short out?
Sometimes that does happen, and you have to be prepared for that. Leaks aren't a huge...
Is that why you have this?
Yeah, a tether you can pull it back with. Actually, we need the tether because radio waves don't go through water very well, so to get video up, we need to use a tether. Yeah, sometimes they flood, and that's manageable. We've used these O-rings, which do a pretty good job at keeping water out.
Cool. Well, you heard it here first from the guys at OpenROV. Failure way to success. Eric, thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
All right.